Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, and in another story that exposes just how broken our justice system is and has been, and you can always hope for a little redemption, right? Just today, all right, or it may have been yesterday, but it's being reported today. R. Kelly is finally being charged in bribery of a government employee in order to get a fake ID for the, let me say this, 15-year-old girl he married 25 years ago. 25 years ago this happened. All right, and that's what really does anger me. You know, finally we're getting these charges. Okay, that's good. Finally. But we all knew he was a liar and that he knew she was underage, that he was a serial predator. And up until just this year, he was walking around, he was booking acts, he was putting out albums. These things have been around for more than 25 years. Age ain't nothing but a number. Hey, Jay-Z. Remember when you did that album with him, Best of Both Worlds? After all this, you knew. They all knew. A persistent question has dogged R. Kelly's 2-decade music career. How was he able to legally marry the singer Aaliyah in 1994 when she was only 15 years old? On Thursday, federal prosecutors in Brooklyn accused Mr. Kelly of bribing an Illinois government employee on August 30th, 1994. In order to obtain a fake ID for Aaliyah, according to the indictment and a person familiar with the matter. So once again, it took 25 years for this investigation to come out. It shouldn't have taken 25 days, 25 weeks, 25 months. Instead, this man had a lucrative career for 20 plus years after this and took advantage of, molested, and filmed victims across those decades. Broken system? If you saw my earlier video today when we weren't focusing on somebody with such a high profile, then you know how I feel about the system. And you know what? I'm going to go to my notifications really quick because I tweeted this story out, and this was the response I got by somebody. This is how sick people are. I know white folk, and you know what? I shouldn't even make that voice. That's it, because I don't know how this woman says. I know white folk. Happy about this. Couldn't wait to tweet it. Then again, it's hard for me not to make that voice when it's not even proper English on purpose, and it says SHM when I think it's supposed to be SMH. Shake my head, and I just want to say this right now. Okay. Right now, race has nothing to do with the abuse of children. And by the way, this may be a sock puppet account. I noticed it was created this year in April. You know, right around the time a lot of those R. Kelly things were heating up. And then I don't know about this person who's agreeing with the other person. Let's check when this one was made. When was this account made? London, England. No, this guy's been around. Apparently he thinks I'm a racist for reporting this. It's really unfortunate. All right. The fake ID was to be used to obtain a marriage license that listed her age as 18. A person familiar with the matter said their marriage was later annulled. The new allegation expands on an existing racketeering indictment filed in New York against Mr. Kelly that accuses him of sexually exploiting underage girls and coercing them into illegal sexual activity. Now, here's the thing. He's got multiple charges in several jurisdictions. All right? It's all over the place. Oh. Aaliyah, whose full name was Aaliyah Danam Houghton, died in 2001 plane crash. We all know this. My understanding is she did not claim to be 15, and in order to get married, she had to lie about her age, Mr. Greenberg said at the time. Come on. Give me a break. And this was, when the lawyer was asked on Good Morning America. Once I said, finally, but 25 years later, it took a docuseries from Lifetime. See that? Surviving R. Kelly, to really bring a large focal point in this matter. And why is that important? Well, let me tell you why that's important. Because it seems like we need these type of things. Why? To bring light to this subject matter, period. It's the only way that you get people's attention. It's the only way that you're able to show this and share it with people on a massive level so something can be done. I truly believe the same thing was going on with the Epstein case through the mainstream media, aka, the Daily Beast was doing stories. The Miami Herald was doing stories. Alternative media like myself never gave up on the Epstein case. I think that's what finally drove the arrest. That there were enough people at the lower levels that were saying, you know what, enough of this. We're doing it, and we're doing it big, and we're going after these people, and that's it. And I know that sounds wishful thinking, right? A lot of people are like, oh, Jason, you're crazy. That's not what happened. This has all been from the start. No, it was a messy operation. Again, if you look at all the evidence out there, that Epstein himself was not only murdered in his second suicide attempt, but the first suicide attempt wasn't a suicide attempt. It shows how long the mainstream media can distort this stuff. Everybody made a big fuss about that 2016 video of ABC News. I got news for you. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, all of them, long before 2016, knew the story. 2016, a lot of the juicier details had been revealed in Filthy Rich by the number one author in the country, James Patterson. Ignored by the media. Totally ignored. And that video was where I was getting a wealth of my information from. So when people who were riding that Trump train and telling me, well, there's no relationship with Trump and Epstein, I said, no, you listen, stop fooling yourself. I'm not saying that Trump is a pedophile, all right, or that he abused girls with Epstein, but they absolutely had a relationship. I pointed to the fact that, it had been in the mainstream media that Epstein had flown on Trump's plane. A lot of people fought me on that. And then that got confirmed, and it came confirmed. Again, if you want to believe these allegations, Virginia Roberts is the daughter of one of the groundskeepers that worked for Trump that got a personal letter from him. And she claims that she was on the plane with Trump. Not that anything happened inappropriately, but, he rode the Epstein plane. Is that so hard? It's like, now that R. Kelly doesn't have the money to get out of this stuff, right? And there's multiple different cases in multiple different states. I think this is it, finally. Finally. But again, when it takes 25 years for a charge to be brought against him for paying off a government official, who's doing the detective work here? She was 15. Everybody knew it. They were, she was 14 when he got involved with her. Do you get it? It's unbelievable. And it takes work. And, that's why I do what I do. That's why I continue to put videos out about the truth. You know how much I hammered home on R. Kelly? And unfortunately, because he's an R&B pop star, because he's got number one hits, because he believes he can fly, and he's trapped in a closet, and all this other nonsense, this celebritard worship, people want to say he's innocent. Doesn't matter all that video evidence. I mean, he peed on a 16-year-old girl on video that circulated widely on the internet in the early 2000s. Widely. I mean, everybody's seen the Chappelle Show skit. But I mean, he did just about everything to this girl, and she wasn't the only girl on the tape. That doesn't mean the other girls were underage. But from all the evidence and all of the indictments and all of the charges, we know he did this with many different girls. Probably not dozens, maybe not even just hundreds, but thousands. Thousands. You want to talk about a sexual predator? This is the guy. So let's hope that through hard work, he never gets out of jail again, and this is the end for R. Kelly. 25 years later, took 25 years for the charges on fraud and bribery and getting a fake ID for Aaliyah. Unacceptable. All right, guys, that being said, make sure you thumbs this video up. If you need to subscribe, now's the time to join the Burmese Brigade. We do a plethora of subjects, from Assange to the true political predator class paradigm. to the Track Trace Database Society we live in, to the Monsters Among Us, and much, much more. Make sure, again, thumbs this up, share it with others. Join the Burmese Brigade. We're trying to get to 40K. I'm also a documentary filmmaker. You can watch all my documentaries for free on this channel. Loose Change Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture. And this is how I do it. No Patreon, no Subscribe Star, no bonus content. I don't know else how to do it. The GoFundMe has supported me. We're in month 6. By month 12, again, I want the office. I want the interns. I want even more videos out there, not just 3 to 7 a day. Let's do 7 to 15 a day. Let's crank them out, but I need help. And with your help, I believe we can do it. I want to say I love you guys. Let's make sure this guy stays in prison, and we don't let people make this an issue about anything else, about a predator using his influence to sexually abuse children. Peace out, Cub Scouts.